Hey guys, Sir Jack of the Lanterns here, and I just wanted to upload this quick video. And the reason I wanted to put this video out is because one of my all-time favorite studios, FromSoftware, has some news that interests me. If you're like me and you are a big fan of their Souls series, sometimes called Soulsborne, that encompasses Demon Souls, Dark Souls, and Bloodborne, this news might interest you. Mr. Miyazaki, the director of many of the Souls games, has completed an interview, and I think you can see this interview on 4gamer.net and a couple other places. I'm not sure where there's where the interview in its entirety is in English yet, but as soon as I know, I'll post that. But basically, in the interview, it has been confirmed that FromSoftware is working on two games. And Miyazaki has said that they're going to continue making games with multiplayer that we're familiar with, multiplayer that they're known for. Now, these two parts of the news may not sound like a big deal, but if you take that second bit and say the multiplayer that they're known for, there's really only two titles that I know of that they've built a large part of those titles on the multiplayer. Soulsborne is a big single player experience to most people, but there's a lot of integrated multiplayer into that. The invasion system and the co-op system is a huge part of that experience. And the other series is one that excites me as well, and that's Armored Core. And I would absolutely love to see another Armored Core game. So I love Dark Souls, I love Bloodborne, I love Armored Core. No matter which way this goes, I'm pretty hyped about it. Some of you might be thinking, well, didn't Miyazaki and didn't FromSoftware say that Dark Souls 3 was the end of Souls? But in an interview that took place between the interview where he said it was the end of Souls and today, I don't exactly remember where you can find that particular interview, but in an interview, he clarified that that was the end of Dark Souls. Dark Souls is a trilogy, and that's, I guess, the way he meant it. But that doesn't mean it's the end of Soulsborne, which means we can still get another Demon Souls prequel or sequel, and we can get more Bloodborne action. I am totally on board with both those things. Also, we have to remember, for those of you who are on the Soul side of this, which, once again, I'm glad if this is Armored Core or Souls, or since they're working on two games, one of each, that would be awesome. But for those of you who are really leaning into the Soul side of it, remember that FromSoftware doesn't own Demon Souls, and I don't believe they have complete ownership of Bloodborne. I think Sony owns both of those IPs, and FromSoftware just produces them. So Sony could assign those projects to other teams. Or other studios, I should say. Let's not forget that the original Dark Souls just got a remaster that, by all accounts, was true to the original. And I feel like that team, or I should say studio, could easily do either a remaster of Demon Souls, which a lot of people have been clamoring for, or a prequel or sequel to Demon Souls or Bloodborne, pretty easily and stay pretty faithful with minimal just contact with FromSoftware to stay true to the nature of the work. But Miyazaki himself has said that both these titles that they've announced will both be FromSoftware-esque games, according to WCCFtech.com. And if you read into that, what do you think of when you think of FromSoftware in this day and age? What is a FromSoftware-esque game now? It is synonymous with Soulsborne. You can't think of a FromSoftware game that has come out in the past, what, decade now, that won't be a Souls title. I mean, I'm sure they put out other stuff, but not anything to the level of Souls. And Sekiro, which is pretty different, is still very much comparable to Souls more than anything else they've done. So I'm leaning about 80% that he's talking at least one of these new titles will be Demon Souls, Bloodborne, or a new IP with the Souls formula. And then the other one I'm hoping will be Armored Core, but most likely will probably be a new IP. And so, just for fun, I'm going to give you my predictions that will be absolutely meaningless because obviously I can't see the future. But I would expect this. I would expect, as much as people are starving for a true FromSoftware based Soulsborne game, and as much as people have been, begging for a Demon Souls remaster, that we're going to get either a Demon Souls prequel, sequel, or remaster within the next 5 years. I think that's pretty safe to say. I would not be surprised if we got a Bloodborne prequel or sequel within the next 7. And I'm talking about released. Okay, so they'll probably be announced. One of those two things will probably be announced by the end of 2019 officially, and 2 or 3 years after that we'll get that first one. But absolutely no later than, I'll say 7 years from now, we will have probably both. We'll probably have both a Demon Souls and a Bloodborne title. Whether the Demon Souls is a remaster or new, I don't know. But we'll probably have one of each within the next 7 years. And we'll probably have a new IP that takes a lot of influence from Souls, but also does some new stuff like Sekiro. I think both of those are pretty safe to say. For my Armored Core fans out there who are like me, I really want one of these games to be Armored Core, but there's nothing I can read into that would say that this is Armored Core. If you went back in time 9-10 years and you took this quote from FromSoftware games, FromSoftware would be synonymous pretty much with Armored Core, right? But I don't think that's what he means now, because I think the name FromSoftware means something different now. There's really no telling. Plus, these are English translations. It's hard to tell. It's hard to read in between the lines when you're translating something, when you're not seeing it in its native tongue and you're not a native speaker. So really take everything I've said with a grain of salt. But if you've got any ideas what these might be, any comments or anything, please leave them down below. Please like, share, and subscribe. And thanks for joining me. And I'll see you guys next time. Sir Jack out.